TKC Daily, where we make sense of the global events with straight facts and sharp analysis. Our lead story tonight is from the United States, where an epic digital age blunder led to a security breach that exposed top-level discussions on military strikes. April 2 deadline of Trump tariffs is approaching. How is India preparing to respond? We will decode. Meanwhile, Tesla is in deep crisis. Elon Musk's political fights are burning Tesla's future. Tesla sales were down by 50%. We will explore ifs and buts of this crucial headline. And finally, an analysis of Delhi's historic rupees 1 lakh crore budget. Let's get started. Washington DC is reeling from what can only be described as a digital age blunder of epic proportions. A security breach that exposed top-level discussions on military strikes, global strategies, and of course, the usual round of emoji warfare. Thanks to a little mix-up in the guest list, a journalist, Jeffrey Goldberg of The Atlantic, was accidentally added to a Signal chat group that included Vice President J.D. Vance, the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. And just like that, highly sensitive military strategies became first-page news, even before they hit their targets in Yemen. So what are the 5 biggest takeaways from this embarrassing blunder? Let's break it down. Number 1, the Vice President thinks Trump is playing checkers, not chess. Let me explain. Among the top claims is that J.D. Vance's skepticism about the military strikes on Iran-backed Houthis in Yemen. Vance, what he thought was a private chat, questioned whether the attack was in America's best interest or just another case of Washington cleaning up Europe's mess. He even doubted whether Trump understood the full picture, saying, and I quote, "I am not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now." That's the diplomatic way of saying, does Trump even know what he just approved? Of course, after the leak, Vance's office quickly patched things up, assuring everyone that VP and Trump are in complete agreement, quote unquote. Number 2, Europe, you are welcome again. If there is one thing this stat revealed, it's that top US officials are fed up with bailing out Europe. Vance once blunt about it, "I just hate bailing Europe out," he said. Defense Secretary Hegseth took it up a notch, calling European reliance on the United States, and I quote again, "pathetic." Meanwhile, another participant, who was identified only as SN, floated the idea that America should demand payments from Europe for its military efforts because, nothing says strong alliance like sending an invoice after a missile attack. Well, one thing is clear, Trump's team sees foreign policy not as diplomacy, but as a business transaction. The problem? The rest of the world doesn't work like Trump Towers. Number 3, the US government's response to crisis, emojis and prayers. Perhaps the most surreal part of this whole conversation. The post-strike reactions in the chat group. After the bombs dropped, Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, sent 3 emojis: a fist, an American flag, and fire. Meanwhile, Special Envoy Steve responded with prayers, a flexed bicep, and 2 more American flags. Because nothing reassures the American people that military operations are being handled with wisdom and caution, quite like a collection of emojis. And let's not forget J.D. Vance himself, who solemnly declared, and I quote, "I will say a prayer for victory." Who needs strategic planning when you have God and GIFs on your side? Number 4, and this is the most important, when in doubt, blame Biden. Worried that the strikes could make Trump look inconsistent on foreign policy, the Defense Secretary quickly offered a brilliant solution. Just blame Biden. Hegseth suggested the messaging should be focused on 2 points. Biden failed, Iran funded. You have to admire the simplicity of it. Any situation, no matter how complex, can be boiled down to blaming the previous administration. Inflation? Biden. Ukraine? Biden. The Yankees losing? Probably Biden. This wasn't a hoax. This is our fifth point. Just pure unfiltered incompetence. At first, the journalist thought he was the victim of an elaborated prank. After all, who just accidentally invites a journalist into a confidential military discussion? But no, it was all real. Now, the scandal is putting National Security Advisor Mike Waltz under serious pressure with calls from Democrats for an urgent inquiry. Trump, of course, is playing his usual defense, saying he doesn't know anything about it. Meanwhile, Hexet is trying to downplay the whole thing, claiming nobody was texting about the war plans, quote unquote. Right. Because discussing specific targets, weapons, and timings doesn't really count. If nothing else, this incident proves one thing. The world's most powerful military is being run like a high school group chat. From top officials venting about Europe like frustrated interns to high-stakes war plans being reduced to emojis and blame shifting, this leak is nothing short of a national security disaster. Now let's not forget the real kicker. If one journalist got in by mistake, how many other people might have been listening in before? This isn't just an embarrassing mistake, it's a wake-up call that maybe, just maybe, world leaders shouldn't be discussing military actions on a messaging app. Think about it. Alright, April 2 is fast approaching, and with it comes a deadline that could reshape India's trade relationship with the US. President Donald Trump has long criticized India for what he calls, and I quote, massive tariffs on American goods. Now, he pushes for a reciprocal tariffs. India finds itself in a tricky spot. The big question is, how will India respond? Trump's approach to trade has always been aggressive. His philosophy is very simple, really very simple. Whatever tariff a country imposes on the United States, America should impose in return. This strategy has already been used against major trade partners. This includes China, Canada, and the European Union. Now guess what? India appears to be next on his hit list. During his previous term, India managed to avoid direct confrontation on tariffs, but this time the stakes are much higher. The tariffs could impact billions of dollars in trade and force India to rethink its trade policies. Let me give you some numbers. In 2023, India exported 74 billion US dollars of worth goods to the US. If Trump imposes broad tariffs, that could severely hurt Indian industries that depends on American buyers. Key sectors such as textiles, pharmaceuticals, and IT services could take a major hit. India has a few options on the table. India could impose similar taxes on US goods, making American imports more expensive. India could also shift its focus towards other economies such as the European Union or China. And number 3, India is already engaging with Trump team to soften the impact and possibly secure exemptions. Reports suggest India is preparing a range of responses. What it includes, including reducing restrictions on Chinese investments and imports. This is a very big move, a move that could serve as a counterbalance if US tariffs hit hard. Recent diplomatic exchanges also highlighted India's proactive approach. In January, I'm giving you a complete chronology. In January, Jaishankar met US Secretary of State in Washington, making India's stance very clear. Then in February, Modi met Trump at the White House, where a potential trade deal was discussed, which can be done by the end of this year. Throughout March, top Indian ministers and US officials have continued high-level discussions. One of the most controversial ideas that is being floated in India right now is a potential pivot, potential shift to China. After the 2020 Galwan Valley clashes, India imposed restrictions on Chinese goods, apps, and investments, but now the US becoming more unpredictable, India may consider easing some of these restrictions, and let me tell you, this is a very big thing. The 3 key proposals under discussions are, and let me tell you, number 1, lowering tariffs on Chinese imports to make trade smoother. Number 2, easing visa rules for Chinese business professionals. Number 3, allowing select Chinese apps to return to Indian market. While this could open economic opportunities, it also comes with a risk. Strengthening ties with China might not sit well with India's strategic partners, including US, including Japan, including Australia. Despite his strong rhetoric, Trump is also known for his last-minute changes. Reports suggest he may adopt more quote-unquote targeted approach instead of a blanket of tariffs. Some countries or sectors could be excluded, and it all depends on one thing, only one thing, the negotiations. For now, India is keeping its options open while actively engaging with the US administration. More high-level visits are planned in the coming weeks, including one by the US Vice President J.D. Vance in April. India is walking a tightrope. While it wants to maintain strong ties with the US, it also cannot afford to let its economy suffer due to trade restrictions. The coming weeks will be crucial in shaping India's response. Will India be forced to impose counter tariffs? Will it deepen trade ties with China, or will diplomacy prevail, leading to a compromise? Well, I can tell you one thing that is certain: India is preparing for all kinds of responses. Elon Musk is no stranger to controversy, but this time it's hitting Tesla where it hurts the most: the sales charts. In the first 2 months of 2025, Tesla's new registrations in European Union plummeted to 49% according to the ACEA. This sharp decline stands in stark contrast to the overall 28.4% growth in electronic vehicle sales across Europe. While Tesla was once the dominant force in EV market in Europe, it's now facing mounting challenges. European and Chinese automakers are producing newer, more advanced models, while Tesla's lineup remains largely unchanged. But this isn't just about competition. Musk's personal actions are also driving customers away. Now, Musk has never really shied away from voicing his opinion, but his recent political move seems to be backfiring. His public support for Germany's far-right party, AfD, has sparked outrage in Europe's largest automobile sector. Germany has historically been Tesla's stronghold, yet the backlash was immediate. German Tesla sales dropped 76% in February, following a 60% decline in January. Since the start of 2024, at least 8 Tesla vehicles have been set on fire in Germany. Vandals have also targeted Tesla's dealership across the US, reflecting growing discontent with Musk's leadership. His alignment with Donald Trump's administration, which has also strained relations with the European Union, has further worsened Tesla's reputation in Europe's market. Let's talk beyond politics. Beyond politics, Musk has been making impulsive business moves that many see as reckless. He has a habit of picking fights with world leaders, whether it's criticizing Germany's migration policies or clashing with officials in China over trade regulations. At the same time, Tesla faces mounting internal challenges as well. Reports have surfaced that some Tesla shareholders are pushing for a new CEO, frustrated with Musk's distractions. While these reports remain unclaimed, unconfirmed, there is no denying that Musk seems too preoccupied with ventures like X, SpaceX, and even Neuralink. Tesla's current lineup also appears to be falling behind. Despite recent updates, the Model 3 and Model Y still looks the same as they did years ago. Meanwhile, European and Chinese automakers are rolling out sleek, high-tech alternatives that offers better features at competitive prices. The Cybertruck recall, even though it wasn't launched in Europe, concerns over safety and reliability about Tesla's products, which has tarnished its global reputation. Tesla's market share in Europe has shrunk to 1.1% for January and February 2025, according to ACEA. In February, Tesla was overtaken by Chinese automaker SAIC's MG brand in terms of EV and hybrid sales. Despite its current struggles, Tesla is not out of the game yet. The EV market is growing rapidly in Germany, in Belgium, and in Netherlands, while gaining momentum in Spain and Italy. If Tesla can regain customers' trust and roll out more innovative models, it may have a chance to reclaim its position. But as things stand, Musk's distractions, political entanglements, and Tesla's aging lineup are proving to be a dangerous combination. The coming months will be critical in determining whether Tesla can turn things around or if its European dominance is truly over. Delhi's newly elected Chief Minister Rekha Gupta presented her first budget in the State Assembly, calling it a historic budget that aims to transform the capital city. With a total allocation of rupees 1 lakh crore, this budget marks a 31.5% increase from the previous year's budget, which signals a majority shift in governance priorities. One of the most striking announcements was the doubling of capital expenditure to rupees 28,000 crores. CM Gupta emphasized that this budget is a step forward towards rebuilding Delhi, which she claimed has been economically and infrastructurally weakened in the past decades, of course, by the oppositions. And I quote, "The days of corruption and inefficiency are over," she declared in her speech. This year's budget focused on 10 key areas, and this includes infrastructure, electricity, roads, water, healthcare, safety, and much more. The budget includes a majority infrastructure push with rupees 1,000 crore for improved connectivity, some 3,843 crores for road and bridge development, 100 crore for shifting overhead power lines underground. Then comes women welfare, which gets a boost of some 5,100 crores for Mahila Samriddhi Yojana, with 50,000 new CCTV cameras for safety and free bus rides for new ID cards. Then comes healthcare, which sees some 2,000 crores for PM Jan Arodhya Yojana, 500 crores for sewage treatment plants, 9,000 crores for clean drinking water and sanitation, and 500 crores for Yamuna river cleaning. Education gets some 100 crores for CM Shri schools, 750 crores for free laptops to 1,200 class 10 students, and 30 crores for an investment film festival. For underprivileged communities, the budget allocates some 700 crores for slum clusters, some 200 crores for accepting mothers, and 100 crores for 100 new Atal canteens. Environmental measures included 300 crores for pollution control, 506 crores for forest conservation. Law and order reforms included new jails in Delhi outskirts with some 7,000 crores for MCD. Apart from all these numbers, all these budgetary allocations, CM Rekha Gupta used her speech to take a strong stance against the previous Aam Aadmi Party government. She accused AAP of mismanagement, claiming that Delhi's economic health has deteriorated under their rule. She said, and I quote, "You made sheesh mahal for yourself, we built houses for poors." This she was saying while referring to allegations of extravagant spending by former CM Arvind Kejriwal. She also criticized Aam Aadmi Party's education policies, accusing them of artificially inflating class 10 and 12 results by failing students in class 9 and 11. Additionally, she tabled a CAG report that highlighted operational inefficiencies and financial losses in Delhi's Transportation Corporation under the previous administration. BJP leaders hailed the budget as a game changer. Speaker Gupta expressed confidence that it would live up to the people's expectations, calling it, and I quote, "the beginning of a new era for Delhi." However, critics argue that this budget is politically motivated, designed to establish BJP's dominance in Delhi after years and years of Aam Aadmi Party's rule. Some experts also questioned whether the government can efficiently implement the large-scale projections within a year. I've given you the numbers. As the historic budget sets ambitious goals, only time will tell whether these promises can translate into real change for the citizens of Delhi, or will it be a talk of past? And dear viewers, that's all I have for you on the show tonight. I will see you tomorrow.